Well, well, well. Here I am. Perfect. There's the Horticular channel. I tried somehow... Let's see, is this on? Yeah. I tried somehow changing the Discord event and it didn't let me change the location. So if you would press the event, you would get redirected to the previous stream, I guess. So I will I will skip that for now and continue with the stream and see if I can fix that later. I was thinking maybe this could be the event location, because I realized each stream has its own link. So right now it's pointing to the not last week's one, but the last stream. Yeah. Ah well. Anyhow, today is bats. Today we're doing an experiment. Also, you can see it's really dark in here. It's getting quite late in the year. It's getting real dark outside. Maybe I should turn on... Oh, I don't have the app anymore. Well, I should turn on the lights next time. You'll have to bear with this for now. It's quite blue, but I have this light on my computer at least, so you can see something. But today we're doing an experiment. So, because normally we do art streams, and I would be perfectly happy to do some drawing today, some pixel arting. It's just not something I need to do right now. Yeah, I can't think of anything like crucial. I mean, there are things I could do as a fallback, but there's nothing that's really a must. So I thought maybe I can do some other stuff that I need to do anyway. In terms of... Sorry, my keyboard needs needs some new power. I'm super prepared. I'm a professional. Is this cable? What was I saying? Yeah, experiment stream. So normally I do pixel art, but today I'm going to do some bat research. And that sounds maybe not as fun to watch, so I don't judge you if you think it's boring. But I want to try some different things, because there are so many parts to making Horticular and making updates and such things. So I figured I will try stuff out, see if, you know, what's boring, what's not boring. You know, some people have said, you know, maybe I can do development streams. Personally, I think the code bit would be super boring for people, because it would just be me watching a piece of code. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you like to watch those things. I sort of considered it when I was doing the for the recent update 1.1. I was doing a lot of UI refurbishment to make it work with the new UI size setting, or the big ones. And I think part of that could have been maybe streams, you know, because it's... But it's also so boring. So I don't know. I don't know. But I could have tried it out, right? So today we're trying out some bat research. Actually, I realize if anyone pops in, I should actually see the... It would be good for me to see the chat, just in case. Yeah, so I'm just going to do some research into bats. If I'm finished before, let's say, an hour, I think I will do maybe 1 hour to 90 minutes today. I always say this, I know, but this time I can time box it because it's not drawing, so I can sort of round it off when I want to. But if I finish real early, I do have a backup drawing that I could do for Halloween. So basically everything I do now for the next couple of weeks will be heavily focused on the Halloween update. There are lots of small things I want to get in, like little polish bits that you might not notice. Things like, for instance, like when you play with a gamepad, I think it works fine, but I want to experiment with having some kind of, what would you call it, magneticism. So when you do like your, oh, you can see it. When you do your thing and try to target like a bumblebee, that could snap to the bumblebee on a gamepad. just to make it, I guess, easier. I think it's fine, but it could be improved, I think, for people, especially since at some point we want to move on to hopefully porting into like Switch and things like that. So yeah, we'll see. But there are little things I want to get in, but one of the big ones is bat. And I know I didn't want to add bat to the base. Let's do a picture. No, wait, this is the wrong... I wanted to use... sorry. I always do my dev stuff in... not dev stuff, but my dev streams in Chrome. Just so... just in case, you know, some sensitive info comes up. I'm going to use bats. What is this? Yes, we want these in the game. And I wanted it in the base game at first, because they're so cute. And I think, are they endangered? That's a good start. Because I love having endangered stuff in Horticular. Let's do bat wiki. So this is basically now I'm already working. This is usually how, for me, when I make an animal, this is where I start. Let's start with Wikipedia. Let's see. Is this a good creature to add? Endangered. Okay, there seems to be some that are endangered. Right, I guess. Depending on species, etc. That makes sense. And okay, some are least concern, which that's good. That's good. The more purple we can get, the better. Where was I? Oh, my classic tangent. I just wanted some bats for a background, because I recently saw if you take bats and turn them upside down, they look really cool. I don't know if there's any pictures like that. But yeah, so I wanted it in the base game, but there was something, and I don't remember what, that kind of prohibited me from adding it. I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was the hanging thing. It's not that it would be impossible in the game as is to basically add bats, but from my point of view, I would want them to sleep hanging always. You know, like if I would to add bats today, I think what would happen tech-wise is they would fly around, and then at night they would fly to wherever their habitat is, and they would sort of, I don't know, maybe fall asleep on the ground or something. It might actually work with today's tech, but that's what I want to explore now, you know, just see, is there anything in their behavior that really, that I need to work on tech-wise before I can get it into the game. We'll see. We'll see. Anub is in. Sorry for shortening your name. If there's bats, we should also have baseballs. I mean, I get it, yeah. Fun fact, there is a patch idea or that I probably won't do, but we'll see. Maybe at some point. It's super loose. I haven't even told Slug Disco about it because it's so loose in my head. But you know, okay, so the name or the idea is World of Games. And that could be many things. That could be, you know, things like having different board games in the game somehow. But the thing that triggered this was golf or mini golf. I know it's not baseball, but it would be so cool to have a little mini golf set of things to put down, you know, like the course and maybe, you know, the windmill, holes to go through. I guess we have ponds already. And then you could have, you know, the end. I guess it's the hole as well in the end. And add the feature of special objects that have physics, because right now nothing has physics. So I guess basically you could play mini golf. So in my head, that's sort of like, it could be a sandbox mode where there's like an 18 course mini golf course where, you know, the camera is fixed or something, you know, through some neat I wouldn't call it scripting, but you know, some design stuff that I could use to make a mini golf thing. And of course, you could also unlock it in the game, and maybe there would be a quest, you know, someone that wants you to play mini golf, and maybe your keepers could play. I don't know. There are so many. It's not super, like the mini golf thing is not super out there because you could already make all of the items. It just needs some tiny game logic bits to connect it together. So I would really like to probably explore that at some point. I don't know how to really plan it in because I wouldn't have time for it for Halloween, and then for the winter update I really want to focus on the winter stuff. But maybe next year, or you know, maybe I just have a stroke of luck and time on my hand, and I don't know. So we'll see. And the idea of the whole update would, I mean, the big thing I thought of was, you know, what if you can play tic-tac-toe against your bumblebees? But it sounds so weird and out there, so I don't really know if it's a good idea. Game in a game would be fun. Yeah, I agree. I really, that's sort of my take on it. I really like those. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, game in a game. For me, it adds some immersion, and you don't need to have it super fleshed out. It's sort of, it could be a time waste or just something mini fun for you to engage in when you want to. But I don't really know how to. Yeah, it's not super planned yet. But speaking of bats, and this is also why I like the idea of doing a bat stream. Basically, I can do tangents and just speak, and I won't feel like I'm super unproductive. Because when I draw, my tendency is to, you know, there's chatters talking about food, and suddenly we're off on a tangent, and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly. I want to put a gnome on my chest too. I mean, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but what if each animal had, you know, like a difficulty rating? Could be based on their energy level. That's usually how I balance stuff. So you have the bumblebee, which is really easy to beat at chess. And then you have the river shark, which is a chess master. Yeah. Anyhow. So bats. So what I was thinking, maybe I can actually, I just want to make some notes. It's sort of, I guess this is a pre-production kind of thing. So usually I note down cool things to have, like foods, notes, maybe like little facts to have in the description. I like to keep it short, but it's nice to, you know, capture the essence of creatures. I see already insects. That's a hint. And also if they have, you know, if the bats would have a very specific iconic predator that isn't human, that could be one of the, what is it called in the game now? The forbidden creatures, or vice versa. If it hunts something very specific, it could be that it requires some kind of creature. So that's kind of what I want to figure out, and also see if there's anything behaviorally that that stands out. And usually this is super quick, but since I'm always doing tangents, I I don't know how long this will take. And I don't remember. It's been so long since I actually did this. But let's see. Something, wings. Oh, that's a good point, actually. Size. Because I'm thinking medium-size bat. I don't know what the span is, actually, for bats. But I'm thinking, like, I want it to be visible on screen. Like, the way I'm picturing it in the game is like how we see... I guess how I would see it with the bats where I live is, you know, at night, or I guess it's evening, you just see a black shadow popping by. So it could probably be more towards that area. But maybe we find out that there are different bat species that could be interesting to look into. bats requiring moss would be fitting. Cool. We already have, I mean, I will write this down. You already did work for me. Bats. No, not bats. Bats. Let's see. Requirements. Moss. Just an idea. It might change, but I like it. I think I would like that it's not a tier 1 creature. So, and I don't think, are there any creatures requiring moths already? I don't think so. Maybe something does, but I don't remember right now. So that would be good as well. That would increase the value of the moth, or, you know, something like that. And I also like that that would make it a tier 2 creature, and because moth, oh, I have forgotten the balancing, but because that would be nice, because it's part of the Halloween thing, and I don't want it to be super rare. I think anyone should be able to access it, you know, without too much work. But it makes sense to not have it, you know, a tier 1 thing where you just get it immediately. But yeah. And another cool thing, since Anub is here, Anub is making so many cool mods. Basically, if I need to do any tech to make this work, that tech will, of course, make it into the editor, and, you know, can be used for whatever other species you want to make as a mod, I mean. But okay. Oh, mammals is good. I'm just going to note this down. Key facts. It's one of those. I'm not trying to be educational, mammals, in the game, but I really like the idea of having, you know, if you play the game and read the text, you learn things about the real world without, I hope, feeling that you're being taught things. So I like to sprinkle in, you know, little keywords, you know, like this is a mammal, because maybe you would think it's a bird, right? I didn't, but I guess I didn't really think of, is this a mammal or not? Because it has the wings, right? 4 limbs adapted as wings. That's actually really interesting. I wonder how that works. They're the only... See, this is so perfect. They are the only mammals capable of true and sustained flight. So basically, they're not gliding, they are flying for real. And they're mammals. I love this, and this is why they really should be in the game, because they're the only one. It feels so good. Okay. Just putting it down. Don't need to do anything with it. Agile. I mean, it's nice. I can put agile down. Sometimes it depends on, you know, if there's something really interesting, I will skip stuff in the description to not make it too long. And usually I use more than Wikipedia, but I think Wiki is such a good start just to get the ball rolling. Right, okay, the flying foxes is the largest one. The giant golden crowned flying fox. Holy, 1.6 kilos, that's quite a bit. And 1.7 meters wingspan. 5 foot 7 inches. At some point I will learn these feet things. Maybe. I think I'm 6 feet something, but I still don't have a good like internal visualization of it. More than 6 feet is 2 meters. No, because I'm not 2 meters. Well, whatever. Sorry. And this is usually what I do as well. I know I do tangents on stream, but when I do research for animals or plants, usually I find interesting facts, and I just start reading and wasting time reading stuff. But so, for instance, a flying fox eats fruit and other plant matter, and occasionally consume insects. So for me, this basically says fruit, which we have in the game, insects, which we have in the game, moths would be cool. So then we have, I think that's starting to feel feel like a good consumption thing. In the game, the creature can only eat one of those, but let's see. Moths, insects, fruit. In my head, I have this picture of a bat eating a grape, so I shouldn't be surprised, I guess. So that's interesting. And we need a bonus at some point, like something they really love. We will probably find one, and also like habit. That's usually what I do. I think of the food I need and also the what their general habitat. What do you call it in? There's another word for it. Usually Wiki has a good section on. No. Should be one. Or maybe they usually call it habitat. Let's do it. Habitat. Yeah, so I usually have like a habitat thing in mind and a food thing in mind. And then I make some kind of requirement list from it. And also if there's predators or something they predate on. Oh, roosts. No, oh, is it called bat? No, sorry. It's called bat roosts. Yeah, this is one of the things, like hollows, crevices, because the game doesn't support creatures to enter items, but, you know, a bat. Sorry, I should pronounce it bat. Bat. If we would, because that's one of the things I think, when I think bats, I think either, what do you call those in English? Like farmhouses? I don't remember, but sort of like these farmhouses where you like stables and stuff. I kind of picture bats hanging from the ceiling, or in caves, definitely caves. And you know, like if it was the game right now, the bat would maybe enter a tree, and it would hang in the tree. I'm not sure they actually. I mean, maybe they do sleep in trees. But that could be one of those tech things I was talking about, you know, being able to enter items. I mean, they can now, but in a different way, I guess. Because I also thought, you know, what if keepers could enter their huts somehow? Not that we need it, but, you know, it could be something that I need to sort of... Barns. Yeah, exactly, barns. Correct. That's the perfect word. But I don't know how to make a cave in the current, you know, like in how the engine works. And because you could have like a big stone with a hole in it, and I guess there could be a new tech thing where it can be traversable from air but not from the ground, to make it interesting in that sense. Or it's just traversable in general, but then that would look strange, because I don't know if you know how the game works, but it's sort of like if it was a rock, and then you would see keepers entering it and become hidden, and it would sort of act like bushes do. So I'm wondering if there's a better way to... Well, anyhow, maybe I should just note that down as considerations. Also, this doesn't autosave, so I'm going to save for it. Cave / let's call it barn. There's no barn in the game, but other how is crevice? Nope, crevices. For living, hiding, etc. Needs tech. That could be a good thing to think of. And sorry. Also, habitat. Maybe I should make a template of this. Yeah, but that's interesting. Oh, and this is good. Okay, this is good. Okay, let's start with flight is enabled. Should I read out loud? I don't know. apart from the Arctic and the Antarctic and a few isolated oceanic islands. That's quite a bit. I guess they're not part of the winter winter DLC or winter update or whatever. Oh, I'm looking forward to do that so much. I recently had the idea of, because I always thought of it as, you know, like the free thing with some free bits and like a DLC if you really want to go into the winter stuff. And recently I thought of if that should be its own story, like instead of appending the current Nemesis story and having to balance the new, how do I put this? Normally when you play a game and you have finished it, like additional content might either be boring because it's too easy because you already, you know, max level, so to speak, or it gets artificially hard just so it only works while you have finished the game. So I thought a bit about this problem, and one way to solve it is to have like a special, not special, like a proper expansion. So instead of having the normal Nemesis game plus winter, you could have a winter story where you have a different storyline and plus the normal winter stuff that I wanted to have. So that could, you know, it could have interesting. Now I know it's a tangent, and then we're not talking about Halloween and bats, but I was inspired from it by seeing the Arctic. Never mind. Let's go back. Let's go back to bats. Also, hello Benedict. It's been a long time. It's nice to have you back. I think last stream was my first one in a few months, so you haven't missed much. I know you didn't make it to last stream, but yeah, it's nice to have you back. Also, help Santa, yes. Well, you say Horticular too, but there will be a Christmas update. I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but there will be like a themed holiday thing, also in addition to like the winter thing. So probably the themed one will be before, or very likely before. Just like the Halloween one will be like a smaller update with some. Right now it's planned to be some candy collecting or so. We'll see. Just like some kind of small mini game in addition to like the normal main stuff. You will see. Yes. Anyhow, I wasn't on size though. Smallest, that's actually good to know. The smallest bat is about 3 centimeters, so it would be like this if you. I don't have a banana for scale here, but that's really small. That's actually super cute. Holy, well, I mean, it's sort of cute. Oh, that's amazing. Can we? Sorry, this is a good tangent. I just wanted. Oh wow, look at this. That's the smallest bat. It's like a thumb. Holy moly, that's interesting. I didn't know this. I thought bats were in general bigger than that. School is hard. I feel you, or I felt you. At some point I was in school too, I guess. Ah, well, interesting. That was a tangent. Let's see. And this was the fox one. Yeah. Flying fox. I always thought that was like a generic name for bats. Or it's like flying rats. Anyhow, Batman. Back to, so that's the size, blah 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 blah. 2 grams they weigh. That's crazy. Like, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like, I know what 5 grams is, and it's like when you have like the tiniest measurement for stuff. That's like 5 grams. So holy moly. And the biggest one we saw before, 1.6 kilo, 1.7 meters. That wingspan is slightly shorter than me, but quite a bit shorter, but still. Really cool. Larger bats, frequencies, yeah, echolocation. I really look forward to have some kind of squeaky bat sound. Smaller prey. Wait, small prey may be absent in the diets of large bats, as they are unable to detect them. I wonder what these prey is. I'm looking forward to learn. Maybe this could be something that doesn't like bats as well. Could be a new interaction. Flight. I will note this down, that it has enabled them to become one of the most widely distributed groups of mammals. I know it's right from Wiki, but it could be an interesting angle to description. We'll see. Blah 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 blah. Tropical areas tend to have more species. Okay. Okay, so different species select different habitats. There's a lot of different here. Different species select different habitats during different seasons, ranging from seasides to mountains and deserts. So, now my brain is thinking. So one way could, okay, so one way could be to make it like a desert vibe bat. I still have this idea in my head of allowing, how would I put it? Allowing creature skin to be determined by where you place them. So it could also be one of those, there's a normal bat, like in a normal green garden. And then if you place one in your desert habitat, it becomes a desert bat. Or, yeah, and I guess if you have the more lush bits, it could become one of the more, I don't know, more, what's it called now again? Like temperate ones. But it's an interesting, I mean, it could be an interesting, I don't know, curveball to the bats. But we'll see. That requires suitable roosts. And I assume a roost is, yeah, okay. Can be found in hollows, crevices, foliage. Foliage. Here we go. Requirement. And even human-made structures. Here we go. Here we go. Not saying this will be a requirement, but it could be like a construct requirement. A housing requirement, maybe. Housing? Otherwise, they could end up with, you know, by fences or so. But housing or even deposit. Like if you have a deposit somewhere, that could also be more like the barn angle. And the council cottage and the keeper cottage and the deposit are all deposits, so that could work. Good luck on bat creating. I gotta go. Thank you, Benedict. My guess is you're going to eat now. If I know you, it's food time. But thanks a lot. And include tents. Wait, includes tents. The bat construct with leaves. That's also like one of the other things I want to add at some point, probably. I don't know where or how. Or how I do know. I don't know, you know, which patch would be suitable for such an update, but these tents, they sound a bit like hollows, or what's another word? Not pits, not holes. There's a better word. Maybe hollow is a good word. You know, like what if you had a, because some creatures dig their own little burrows. Burrow is the word. So there could be, you know, an addition to the creature system where they create or need to create a burrow, and they do it themselves in my head, because I think it would be strange to place a hole in the ground. So you basically would have to have an empty spot and then the creature would put a den. It's a good word. Den is a good word. And then the creature would make a little hole there, and they would only make one. And then they would go inside, and now we're back to the inside thing. Like, there's no support for inside yet, but that could be a cool addition. So maybe one creature absolutely requires the den or the burrow or the hole, and you know, from using the tech or implementing the tech for that creature, it could what's it called, cascade to the other ones that we already have. And it doesn't need to be a requirement, it could be just like a flavor thing. But but you know, it sounds a bit like the bats. You know, bats could have a tent. What's it called? Tent? Yeah, like a tent that they made from leaves. So they need to have foliage, and then they make little tents. And once they have the tent, they survive. And if you ruin the tent, maybe they get unhappy and they need to create a new one. Something like that. Interesting. I didn't expect this to be a thing. That's good. I will definitely note it down. I'm not sure it will be a bat thing yet, because I'm quite sure a few of them don't make those tents. But it would be, you know. Oh, and also spiders. We don't have spiders right now. I made that decision because there are so many. Like, it's probably one of the most common phobias. Well, yeah, probably one of the most common. It feels like I have it, for instance. But it would be so cool to have a spider that makes little webs somewhere, or you know, makes its habitat webbed. Not sure how that would work, and I could imagine it would just fill. I'm not sure how it would work if they would just place one down, or if they would web everything. But it would definitely be like again, like a cool flavor thing, and I guess the web would make other creatures move slowly, or maybe even ruin the web. So the web would only stick around where other creatures don't move. It would make things look a bit more dynamic, I guess. And now I'm of course talking about web making spiders. I guess the burrow would be also for what are they called? Like hunting spiders? I don't know. There are a lot of burrowing spiders, I know. There are these little cool things that definitely couldn't be prioritized for launch, but I hope to gradually introduce like little things now and then, like for bats, and in the end, even cooler interactions can happen. I don't know. I'm already thinking of creatures requiring a home. Bee, yeah, exactly. Bees, if I remember correctly, they do burrows, right? I don't know if they require or I have bumblebees now, but I don't know if bumblebees require empty spaces now. But I know at some point, at some build back in the day, they actually required an empty space. And the only reason they required one, because I envisioned it as a proxy for they need a space to make a little burrow in. I don't remember exactly how that works, but I do remember this. So definitely like bees, rabbit makes sense, ants makes sense, spiders as I mentioned. And with spiders I sort of thought, you know, would that be maybe an optional mod or an optional DLC? Or like, I mean, free DLC of course. I just don't like having a lot of, because I know when I have games or buy games, I don't like when there's a billion different packs and you don't know what to download. So I want to be a bit careful with it, but it could also be like spider plus arachnophobia mode, but then I need to make something that's cute and not scary or creepy. I don't know. There are ways to go, but it wasn't worth the effort to get the spiders in. But yeah, now I'm on a tangent. Megabats generally roost in trees. Okay. Here we go. So if I make a big bat, we need a tree. In my head, it's definitely going the deposit direction. Deposit, foliage, fruit, insects, moths, maybe. So you need a moth and some kind of deposit. I think this would be like a unique habitat at least, and that's good because that creates new combinations and new gameplay sort of. Most microbats are nocturnal. What's crepuscular? It's an animal that is one that is active primarily during the twilight period. Ah, okay, like okay. Being there are so many words here. Being matutinal, vespertine, vespertinal, or vespertinal, or both. I guess those are names for, I don't know. Could it be like morn? No, but morning isn't twilight. Twilight should be evening only, right? Dusk would be the... Okay. But it's a twilight period animal. And diurnal is twice or something, right? Or is any pattern that recurs every 24 hours as a result? Ah, okay, sorry, that's completely off. That's like humans, I guess. And nocturnal is night, like the owls. Yeah, in my head I'm thinking twilight. I don't know if it's a megabat, but I'm definitely sure. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I definitely feel like my understanding of the bats where I live is, or I live in a city. I don't have too many bats here, but on the countryside more, they come out at least during dusk. That's sort of when you're having a outside drink on like the porch, or I guess we don't have so many porches. We have whatever it's called on the backside of the of the house. You would have somewhere you sit, and then you see a bat fly by. So I would probably want to have something like that, because there aren't that many creatures in the game that are... Because most are active during the day. Ah, that's not true. Quite a few evening and night animals as well. I don't know. I'm thinking twilight though, that would be cool. Like 7 in the game, maybe. Microbats are known to exhibit diurnal behavior in temperate regions during summer, when there's insufficient nighttime to forage. What is a microbat? What's the definition? Small bats that use echolocation and have a variety of diets. I guess I'm making a microbat. Let's see, how... maybe not. 16 centimeters. It's like... something like that. It's like my head. No. Well, I don't have that tiny of a head. Only 3... Wait. They feed on insects, but some of the larger species hunt birds. Oh, lizards. Oh, frogs. Oh, this is good. Smaller bats or even fish. This could make a really interesting dynamic. I suppose they would have a medium habitat. And this is also one of those things, you know, like what if this is the point where I introduce the 7x7 habitat size? I'm not sure that's... Because right now there's only 5x5. I could see 7x7 making your like habitat overlay just like a green blob, because it's such a big thing. But I also feel like some... I'm not sure. Because when I thought about this before, the idea was that if I do any like epic creatures, you know, like tier, what would it be, like 4 creatures or 4 or 5, that maybe they are the 7x7 habitats. But I guess a bat would be 5x5 at least. Yeah, stars in your eyes, I get that. Yeah, I would definitely need to do some performance checks. I think it should be fine, but like performance requirements increase exponentially with the size, and there are some things. It's basically Well, I don't need to go too technical on it, but I think I need to do some definitely profiling of that. But there's definitely 7x7 in my general kind of thoughts. Not sure just where to properly introduce it and do all of the work and such. Probably not the bats. Okay, this is good to know. Differences from megabats. So these use echolocations, whereas megabats do not. Ah. Aha. This is the cool part of doing research, is that you learn so much stuff. It's like, I didn't know much about bumblebees before, and I don't know much now either, but I do know more about a lot of things, like tiny little facts. But okay. Does this mean that, you know, like normal European bats are microbats? I need to know this, I think. I feel like, is there like a name for like the most common bat European on eBay? No. Oh, okay, there are so many. I was kind of expecting one of those common European bat kind of thing. There are so many more bats than I knew. Northern Eurasia. I just want to know what we have at home. I'm not saying that's what are going to be in the game. I'm just curious now what bats? Oh, okay, of course. I didn't know there were so many bats. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but it's a fairly large Eurasian bat with blah blah blah. It doesn't say anything of microbats initially. Oh, pond bat. I mean, it makes sense. There are so many birds, but also bats is such a niche. Like, it feels like it's niche. You know, they're the only mammal that can achieve sustained flight, we learned. Oh, what is this? It's like, it's 20% scary or something with their teeth, but it's 80% adorable. I mean, I would assume this is okay, it's an echolocation, so it's a microbat. Northern bat is the most abundant. I guess this is like the most common one, right? If it's the most abundant one in northern Eurasia. Maybe they are smaller than I thought. I just felt like they seem a bit bigger when they fly by. Nocturnal, fast flying, hunting airborne insects, just like the dragonflies do. Do you know anything about bats, Anub, that makes sense to think of? I'm struggling a bit with, like, right now it's so many things to... But I guess it would be like a microbat then, because at least I kind of want a echolocation bat. I didn't know that the big ones didn't use echolocation, so already this is learning to me. Or maybe some do. Let's check, double check. What? Megabat? No, megabat. Sorry for the sound. No. Megabats considered family, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Fruit bats old world fruit bats. As of 2018, 197 species of megabat had been described. Oh wow. Oh, this is the ones that you see in picture, right? Eating grapes. Must be. I don't know. Ah, this is interesting. Does it say anything of echo? Megabats are the only family of bats incapable of laryngeal echolocation. Ah, it might have been lost at some point. I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference for the game, but I feel like it should be. I feel like there's a choice here of microbat, generic microbat, or generic megabat. When I think of bats, I think of night, yeah, insects, yeah, moths, yeah, swarms, yeah, exactly. Like a cluster of bats hanging in a cave, sort of. And Halloween, yeah, definitely Halloween. And Batman. Maybe their favorite item could be the jack-o'-lantern. Oh. Ah, it's already the moth's favorite thing. Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I think we're on the same page. It's sort of like the feeling of bats. I guess it's kind of biased towards like a Western American European thing, but I feel like that's the direction it's going. There's also vampire bats and the myth that where they get stuck into hair. Okay. That could be a... Wait. I mean, there are things you can do here. Like... Their food source is the blood of animals. Yeah, yeah. Like, what if this is the only species in the game that require another animal to feed on? But also that feels like it might be super annoying. It would sort of mean that you need to have keepers to heal your creatures. Yes, so that they don't succumb to your vampire bats. But it would be cool. Yeah, I guess like jack-o'-lantern. If the moth needs the jack-o'-lantern, then it's already like a, what do you call it? Not a direct dependency, but like an indirect dependency for the bat, if it depends on the moth at least. But I mean, I think what you're saying is sort of like, it's sort of like my kind of ballpark thinking around it, to make it a bit towards the creepier mythological maybe thinking, but still, yeah, like the normal night insect stuff. Honduran white bat. Let's see. It looks like a chicken ish. Look at this thing. Holy moly. Oh. That's the best part of Googling stuff for the game, and then you just look at pictures for half an hour. Oh yeah, that's a plushie. Yeah, but okay, I think it feels microbatty. Wait, what? Bats comprise, this is one of those facts again, bats comprise about 20% of all classified mammal species. What? This is definitely not, I am learning. In my head, bats was sort of like the niche flying mammal rat thingy, and not 20% of all mammals, or species, I guess. I'm not sure, like, in numbers, if that's the same, but at least species-wise, that's interesting. More recent evidence have supported dividing the order into... Yeah, I'm not going to dive into that in the game. Many bats are insectivores. Yep. And most of the rest are frugivores. Aha. Oh, nice. So, okay. Or nectar. Oh, wow, okay. No. What's this? Or nectarivores. Nectarivores. So that could also be a completely different angle. Like, they need to feed on nectar, and if you don't have nectar available, they starve. Like, I know that we could say it's... I mean, in real life, that would have been flowers or something, but the way I usually think about it is, you know, if it's a thing, then you can sort of take some creative liberty and make it into a game mechanic thing, and nectar in the game... Because all creatures eat nectar, but there is no creature that has to have nectar. Yeah, that's an interesting... It could be... I'm not sure if it's interesting. Could be really annoying as well, because your keepers would collect nectar, and right now there's no way to get nectar out in the world again. I actually had this idea of... and I'm not sure what it would be used for. I mean, I could come up with a couple of things, but where you could sort of interact with a, what's it called now again? Like a deposit, or... I heard now the USB sound. Let me know if I'm gone. That was creepy. What was I saying? Yeah, I had this idea of... it looks like it's on though. I see microphone and stuff happening, and I see myself moving. Yeah, being able to sort of withdraw nectar from your bank, and maybe even being able to deposit other objects, you know, like the fruits, like the berries, the seeds and things like that, like in a storage, and then being able to withdraw them. But again, that's a weird tangent to the nectar. Maybe light could be forbidden in this habitat, making it a bit of a puzzle if the moth is among its requirements, is the required light. Yeah. Moth habitat is 5 by 5, so you could have a moth habitat. It would be really hard, I think. Okay, because then it wouldn't be happy with the keeper's hut, because that's also light. So for now it would only... Oh, okay. If it depends on deposit, like I sort of think of it in my head. Yeah, I think that could be a cool thing. I'm not sure if it will work. Well, I think it's a cool idea to because you don't usually see bats in the light, right? So I think I will note it down at least. Forbidden light. I think it's a good thing to consider. Hello Waffles, welcome back. I remember you from not last week, but 2 weeks ago. I hope you're doing well. I wonder if your animations are... how is it going with your new series? I remember you were doing like a series or something. Maybe deposits could work as an ATM for animals that require it. I mean, that could make sense as well. Like there's I won't say too much on this because it's sort of like a unconfirmed next year kind of thing, but there's definitely some ideas around having objects and resources matter more for keepers, or where it can be used for things. But it's sort of up in the air, so I won't say much, but it sort of would play into kind of that thing, you know, being able to deposit and withdraw stuff from those. And then I think if the creatures can do that, I think you should be able to as well. You know, like press it and you get a selector for its. I will probably have it like a global thing, so it's not a specific deposit that has stuff. But yeah, like you press it and can withdraw whatever you want. That could be an interesting sort of thing. But right now it doesn't really make sense because you cannot use it for anything. But yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm still a bit stuck on this. Like, I guess this sort of means that it's either insects, fruits, or nectar of some sorts. Yeah, enjoy food. I'm not sure what I will eat today. We'll see later. Yeah, but as I said, it's kind of... I guess a bit limiting. It would be nice if bats would be like... They eat... Because some creatures are, and I have used that in the game. Like, they eat... What do they eat? Maybe they eat a bit of foliage, and sometimes... You know, they are omnivores. They eat a bit of everything. Maybe they primarily eat plants, but... I don't remember any good creatures for it now, but, you know, when presented a carcass of something, sometimes they dive right in and eat. But in this case, it seems... I will say, what does the next sentence say? Maybe continue. A few species feed on other animals other than insects. Vampire bats feed on blood. That could, I mean, that could be interesting already. Like, maybe they need rats. Maybe, but rats are they already for owls? Don't, Well, could be something like that. But also, I guess for blood, the rat is too small. I guess they are more feeding on like huger, larger, I don't know. Nocturnal, caves, refuges, yep. Blah, blah, blah. They are important in their ecosystem for pollinating flowers and dispersing seeds. Well, that goes into effect. To be fair, I feel like every creature I see makes sense. Or not every creature, but a lot of them are important for particularly those things, the pollination and seed dispersal. Many tropical plants depend entirely on bats. Oh, sorry. Bumped the microphone. But that's interesting. Still not sure what to do with angle for description. Because I could also see doing... Because that's what I usually do with slightly more mysterious creatures. Or, you know, like the shark has a line on... They're not that dangerous technically, and it's more like a cultural thing that they are seen as dangerous. I think I did that with another creature too. Shark and maybe crocodile? I don't know. But, oh, maybe, no, it was the piranha. Which, you know, at least when I grew up, you learned that if you put your finger in piranha water, it was gone in 10 seconds or something. And apparently, in real life, they're not that dangerous unless they're getting, you know, stressed. And then they bite to defend themselves. Just like most creatures. So I think it's nice to try to dispel some of these myths, at least. Or try to. They provide humans with some direct benefits at the cost of some disadvantages. Bat dung, guano. Here we have a potential feed into a potential keeper update in the future. Well, I don't know. Bats consume insect fertilizer. What if this could add adaptation immediately? It sort of doesn't make sense, but it could be cool. They consume insect pests. Fruit bats. Okay. Well. I think I will skip the rabies disaster for now. Seems to be mainly surrounding like insects. Depending on the culture, bats may be symbolically associated with positive traits. Interesting. But in the West, where I'm from, so of course I'm biased towards this direction, bats are popularly associated with darkness, malevolence, witchcraft, vampires, and death. Here's my my spelling of the bat. Yeah, flittermouse. Flittermouse. Yep. I'm not sure this really helped me a lot. Or no, it helped me a lot, but I feel like it opened a lot of questions. Like, because every animal in the game is kind of like a generic version, not to be too specific. So it could be fine to have bats as both fruit and insects. Or, you know, if it's nectar as well, it could be flowers and or like the new construct of actually requiring nectar eating. I will just note this down. We don't need to decide on anything. I mean, I need to decide on something, and I probably will tomorrow. I always get so... Wait, habitat should be... I shouldn't have noted that as requirements. This is more... What? Whoop. Bonus. Here we go. Let's do a question. Do some bats eat fruits and insects? In that case, it's a easy given. Let's see, USGS. That sounds a bit official. Wait, there are at least 40 bats in the US that eat nothing but insects. So at least for these, it's definitely insects only. Insects or bust, basically. A single little brown bat, which has a body no bigger than a adult human's thumb, can eat 4 to 8 grams of insects each night. So it seems... Okay, so it seems definitely like if it's the fruit bats, it's the mega bats. And if it's the small ones, they have echolocation, so they can see, or I guess, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe, for me, see is eyes. So, notice, feel the insects. In that case, it's not fruit. Patas, megabats only. Other species of bats eat many different things, including fruit, nectar, and pollen. Oh, wow, okay. Wait, where do they get the nectar from? Wait, bats eating nectar. Holy moly, they have a long tongue, just like the what's it called? Not the bumblebee, not the dragonfly, hummingbird. It's so cute. Look at that thing. Oh, look at that. I mean, what is that thing? Nom 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 nom. Oh, it's so adorable. Yeah, this is going to be harder than I thought, actually. I was thinking, you know, okay, it's going to be insects. Easy. It's going to be insects and fruit. I will be, yeah, I'll be honest and say I didn't know about this last part, like nectar and pollen. And that they are pollinators. I definitely missed that. That's cool. Still, I want to see if there's anyone or any bat that eats. Okay, we can say that eats a bit, at least 2 different sources of food. Okay, most bat eats insects and are called insectivores. Beetles, moths, and mosquitoes, and more. Yeah, and then there are some bats that like to eat fruit, seeds, and pollen from flowers. So definitely the 2 pages now have definitely made it seem like it's either insectivores or it's the, well, they call it frugivores, and they are the ones that eat fruits, seed, and I mean, it's like it's the vegetarian bat or the vegan bat and the insect bat. It seems like that's the choice here. Because if I went the frugivore bat, I guess we could add a new kind of tree. We could add a banana tree. Is that tree or a bush? Are bananas trees? Or what? Botanical berry. It's an edible fruit. Well, it would be fruit in the game. So I mean, it could be conceptually, it could be like this is the bat you make in the game. So I guess this is the more tropical one. Decisions. Or that could be, you know, like the fruit bat. But I usually keep it to one kind of archetype in the game. Like my philosophy is sort of keeping it focused. So you have the frog, and it's not a few different species of frogs. I mean, modders can do whatever, but it's the frog. And, you know, if I want a toad, because I have toad as a thing that I was considering for a while, but I know it's not the same thing, but it feels so similar. So it kind of, that kind of niche or area was sort of covered by frogs. So rather than adding toad, it would be more value to add a snail, for instance. So I guess I mean, it's definitely the same with bats. It's once I do a bat, the likeliness for me to make a different kind is small, unless I move into what I talked about earlier, like having different skins that depend, like where they look different depending on how you make the habitat. Because there are some cool things you could do, like the cat in a desert would be different. The keeper in a desert may be different too. And also the keeper in snow would wear puffy clothes, right? So there are things that I am considering here, where I wouldn't need to actually make two different bats. It would be the bat, and then if you make a bat with fruits in the habitat, lots of fruit, they become the fruit habitat bat skin creature. So I'm probably leaning towards insects. I like moth. They said dragonfly as well. We will see which one makes sense. I don't remember the stats or anything in the game. We will have foliage. I'm kind of thinking using deposit. Yes, to make it a bit different and fun. Forbidden light, I will look into it. It makes sense to try it. And of course, yeah, insects. Then the question is, what's a bonus thing for a bat? What is a bat bonus? I mean, that could be the fruit. Like, it's not super realistic. I am, by the way, going to say eat insect. Probably. Some different morphology things. Echolocation, that's a really important one to read about, actually. I mean, come on, I need to add it to key facts. If I don't speak about echolocation in the description, that would be weird. So right now it's sort of leaning towards... It's a mammal, I need to mention that. It's the only mammal capable of true and sustained flight. I don't know why I didn't write flight here. Let's bold that for now. And pollinators is interesting. But echolocation has to be there. It's like, it's the one thing everyone knows, so it would be strange for me to leave it out. But only the microbats use. Oh, maybe it will be called microbat in the game in the end. But probably not. Okay. Blah blah blah, this is how it works, this is fine. Most microbats generate ultrasound, blah 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 blah. Cool. Classification, okay. There's not too much in here. Let's close some of these. What more? I feel like we have quite a good... I mean, for me, this is good enough to make it. I'm still wondering a bit about the... Because I really want... You know, in my head, you know, I'm picturing a level 3 habitat with 3 bats. And they all hang upside down somewhere. It looks adorable. So I need to figure that out somehow. And what more? Classification isn't that interesting, I think. Or it could be interesting in general, but for the game, not super much. Oh, we could watch a video. They fly definitely like some birds, it looks like. They're quite fast. Well, lots of details. Yeah, this is basically how they are built. Oh, look. They're roosting. Okay, that's a good good word. Roosting. Should probably use that in the description. Ooh. Okay, when on the ground. Oh. When on the ground, most bats can only crawl awkwardly. Does that mean I need to make a crawl animation? I was kind of picturing just having to do the fly stuff, the flying stuff. The common vampire bat are agile on the ground. That the picture it gives me. Okay, well, doesn't say. Okay, what I should actually also look into before I wrap up at some point, quite soon actually. I really want to see. It would be nice to have like a bonus thing going. I haven't seen anything pop out yet. Like bats love this thing. I guess the bonus could be, you know, if it likes dragonflies, the bonus could be moths. And vice versa. That could be one kind of like one way to go. Feels a bit boring, but it would be that or an item right now. I mean, okay, yeah, I could add a new item, as I said. But the bananas wouldn't make sense for a non-fruit bat. I don't know why I would... Do they eat bananas? I don't know where I got that from now. Okay, now we look at the organism's total gas exchange. What? Wait, what? Exchanging gas through the patagium of the wing. I'm not sure what we're talking about here. This is probably interesting. Probably doesn't make sense to spend time on it, but very interesting. Welcome back, Anub. Anub Scorpiak. A few megabat emit ultrasonic sounds. Okay, but this is fine. Vision. The eyes of most microbat species are small and poorly developed. Again, that could be like a fact to weave in, maybe. Some species can detect ultraviolet. Okay. Megabat species have eyesight. Megabat. Okay. There is so much nice stuff here. Okay, ecology. No, we read it. We read this already. Oh, but this is okay. Yeah, this is kind of in my head. I'm thinking bats. This is the. I don't know what the frame rate will be. I guess it should be fine for you. Microbatshunting.ogv. I don't know what ogv is. Bats get most of the water from the food they eat, like a lot of creatures. Many species also drink from water sources, like lakes and streams, dipping their tongue into the water. So that could be like a interesting additional requirement. Because not all creatures do depend on water in the game, but some do. And that, I mean, it definitely shapes how you make the garden. How do I put this? And especially if it's stream, because I don't think there are any. Because the only creatures that need stream right now, I think, are like fishes and other swimmers. So it could be like an interesting turn to have like a flyer that needs streams. We'll see. I will, of course, try it around, but that's interesting. Vitamin C. Insects. Oh, we don't have any grasshoppers. That's another thing. Or cricket, I guess. That could be a cool thing to add. I would like a grasshopper. Not sure when that will be. Beetles. We do have beetles. Mosquito. Beetle is one of those things as well. Like, there are beetles everywhere. So right now they're only in the desert, but could for sure if they had the skins. If you made somehow a beetle habitat in a grassy bit, you would get a... I don't know any beetle names, but... Huh. Oh, and wasps. That would also be cool. It would also be cool to have like mega creatures. No, too much, too many ideas. Catch me there, fine, fine. The bat may also take the insect back to its roost and eat it there. Interesting. Nothing stands out still. I don't know if you, yeah, if you just joined or came back like a noob. I'm still just looking for a bonus. It would be nice to have one, or not nice, there has to be one. That's kind of the final bit I should have something on before I end the stream. Pollinators, stuff, blood. I don't know. Here, this is good. Okay, predators. Bats are subject to predation from birds of prey, such as owls. Hello, hello. Okay, wait. I'm just putting this down in its own list to make it easy. Well, birds of prey. It seems to be like a common theme. It's like birds of prey is like the general thing for many creatures, such as owls. So owl would make sense. We don't have the others in the game, so that's fine. From terrestrial predators and blah blah blah. Cats. Could be one. Low-flying bats are vulnerable to crocodiles. This is such a specific thing. So specific. And when it's that specific, it's very likely to end up in the game. Just saying. Or at least end up in the game if it makes sense for balance reasons or gameplay reasons. If the bat's habitat is only doable not next to crocodiles, I guess it doesn't make sense. Snakes capturing bats. Okay. Parasites. We don't do parasites. No. Okay, but we have some predators as well. That's good. And now I'm going to do a quick search. Bats love what? Ugh. Try Google. Bats love. I guess there's a reason why I get 5 reasons to love bats. Bats love this plant. I don't know. Planting night-scented flowers will help attract night-flying insects. Ah, okay. Offering food to hungry bats. I mean, it could be an interesting avenue at least. Because it's fun to find these like odd little tidbits of information. What did it say? Night-scented flowers. Cherry pie. Okay, let's do the Latin name. Okay. Maybe fairy lights. Oh, yeah. That's a cool idea. Where would I put it? I put it here. Fairy lights. I want to also Google some of these plants, just in case. That's a really cool one. Tobacco plant. I'm not going to say anything, but I get pictures in my head. Okay, but there are some plants. I mean, there's no cost to just adding. Oops. Adding it here. Yes, for reference later. Ooh. Don't forget the landing platform. Wide blooms, like those in the carrot family. Carrot. Allow many insects to gather at once, or together at once. Smoking gnomes, let's go. Yep. What do they smoke? What Gandalf is doing, or? I can see the gnomes with huge pipes, for sure. I cannot Google like what items do bats love. What do bats love? Bats are the sole pollinator for the agave plant. Wait, which one is that now again? Oh, right. We have that one in the game. So that could be like a thematic thing. Like a thematic way to do it. Huh? Okay, bananas rely on bats. Okay, but there's lots of... It's basically either... okay. This was an interesting... Way more interesting than I thought. Pillar ruins, maybe, as in they hang out in ruins and abandoned buildings. Yeah, okay. What if there's like an abandoned keeper's cottage? Because this is the Halloween update, and I'm going to theme everything around a bit spookiness. And yeah, I'm applying spookiness to bats now, creatively, but they will exist normally in the normal gameplay as well. But what if there's like a creepy abandoned keeper's cottage as well? And what if there's a new tag or something, like the ruin tag? So you have the pillar ruins, you have the abandoned keeper's cottage. Wouldn't work for caves, but it, you know, it could add some extra themes to the game as well. I really like. It would be nice to extend stuff when I can. I'm not sure, you know, If it's only used for bats, I probably won't do it, but that's an interesting idea. I will... Oh, you don't see what I'm doing now. I'm copying your message. Pillar ruins. Idea. Considerations. Ruin tag. Abandoned cottage. Very Halloweeny. Oh, it would be so cool. Okay. Abandoned cottage. So of course that abandoned cottage would be Halloweeny, but it would also be one of those things you always can put in your garden if you want to. I'm not saying this will happen, but it's an interesting idea. There are so many interesting. It's also the thing of when you have to do 30 animals, there's just so much time you can spend on each, especially if there's a deadline coming up. But now with the bat, I'm very happy to dig into the nitty-gritty and find some interesting avenues for it. So we'll see. Oh, but this is cool. I feel like we have some bits here. The bonus I'm not completely sure about, but we'll see. There are interesting ideas, and there are some good predators to limit where you can have it, and the rest is kind of makes itself. Insect and moths, basically. Evening and some description. Yeah, I think the considerations will be the fun part. Like, if there's anything else, I will do a quick final scan and then I will end the stream. Just see if there's anything else. The cultural significance can sometimes be really good to look into. Darkness, death, witchcraft, and malevolence. I can assure you the bats in the game will be perfectly kind. Trickster. Though it would be cool to have like a tricky trickster bat contact at some point, but that's not for now. Tanzania, a winged bat-like creature, a shape-shifting evil spirit. Ooh. Happiness, joy, good fortune. The bat god presided over corn and fertility. I love that it's corn in particular. Of course, we're getting to Dracula and Batman. Economics. What? Ah, it's of course human economics in the real world. Vexers riding bats. Yeah. Or keepers riding bats. Just need the riding update. Where frogs can ride the... No, the hare can ride the turtle to get over the stream or something. But this feels good. This feels good enough for now. Cool. I think that's it for today, actually. Funnily enough, it was more exhausting to research bats than to paint. Even, I don't know why, I thought this would be like an easy stream, and somehow it just takes a bit of effort or something, some mental effort. I don't know. Feels like painting is way more chill, maybe. Or maybe I just zone out and I put little pixels down and it's, you know, not so taxing. I don't know. But the good news is I'm really happy with the result. This is something as I usually say, I needed to do it anyway, and it's for the upcoming update in, let's say, within a month. I will try to get it out before. Okay, so the way it will work is, the plan is that during like a couple of weeks of the year, you get the Halloween theme automatically. So when you're in the main menu, it's slightly themed differently for fun. So I would like to have it out before this starts. So it's actually not too much time left. I gotta get going. So I need to do this anyway, so it's really good to have it done. Probably next stream I could actually do the menu pixel art as well, but we'll see. You know, if you watch this, I mean, Anub, you can tell me how it was with like a research stream like this. I picture it's not as fun. I don't know what is fun. And if you watch this, you know, most people watch the streams afterwards, after they're done, like the VODs. So if you watch that, and if you manage this far, which already has a survivorship bias to my question now, but if you watch this far, let me know what you thought of the concept, I guess. I'm not sure. Like, I'm trying a few new things. I really want to see what works, because I do a lot of different things, and today the pixel art just didn't feel like the right thing to do, so I just wanted to try something. But I could see myself try a lot of different things, from UI work to coding, although that's probably boring. So we'll see. It was fun to brainstorm ideas. I agree. That's probably the most fun part for me. I know that I won't do most of them, or probably a lot of them are bad ideas, but it's fun to, as you say, to brainstorm. And you know, some of the ideas are really good, and then you continue with them. Also thinking about how I could use the potential new mechanics. Yeah, that's sort of my thinking as well. Yeah, cool. Other news. If you haven't played in a while, there's a new update out, 1.1.0. It changes some, it makes the habitat stuff a bit easier to deal with, and it works really well on the Steam Deck now, because there's a new UI size thing which is applied automatically. So if you have a Steam Deck, really try it now. What else? I will be back in 2 weeks. Sometimes I think I want to stream more, because I kind of like streaming. It would be hard to maybe do it on a schedule, but we'll see what I do. It's just kind of fun to do something different than a normal work. So we'll see. But for now it's in 2 weeks, and then we'll see what I do. I will figure that out on the day probably. And I think that's it. I think that's it. But yeah, let me know what you thought. It would be really nice to see what you think of the concept, at least. And I see you probably next time. And now it's time for me to eat. And as usual, time to find the button.